Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the podcast about seven things and stuff that are important to everybody all across the entire galaxy, not just the world. We have expanded our repertoire and our reach to the galaxy. Get used to it. It is the number one podcast of such and things proven by people far, far smarter than all of us. So welcome back for another week, another episode. There was a week layover absence, and we apologize, but, you know, scheduling, life, and shit happens, and, yeah. So after spooky season, we didn't have enough backlog, and, yeah, but we're here now, so you're welcome. That's right, you're welcome. Like Maui says on Moana, you're welcome. But welcome back, another week, and let's welcome back our esteemed colleague, fresh off of honeymoon and all kinds of stuff and things in spooky season, the one and only Mr. Christian.
How's it going, guys? I apologize. My voice is a little raspy.
Christian's going through puberty.
Yeah, man. Again, it's crazy. But yeah, man, it feels good to be back. I know we missed a week, but we are here. We got stuff to talk about, so I won't keep the intros long. We'll just jump right into it.
And also, it's in the morning, which we never do, is record this early. So
we never do.
Your boy's drinking coffee.
I've had no coffee. I've had no tea.
I've had nothing this morning. So, like, I've had water, and now I've had a little coffee.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Some tea actually would be dope, but I digress. Let's get into it.
All right. Well, what we like to do to start every episode is talk about what we're watching, reading, listening to, or playing this past week. And since it's been a longer period, we'll keep it short and sweet for the most part, and definitely break stuff down over upcoming episodes. But I'll start. So a game, Alan Wake 2, come out over spooky season month. And I have not played it yet, but it made me realize that many moons ago, I had played Alan Wake and did not finish it. So I downloaded Alan Wake and I finished the original game, the remastered version. And it's a cool game. It's really cool premise, but playing it probably 13 years later was not the smartest. I wanted to know the story, and now I have the story, like, experiencing, not just watching YouTube videos of it. I wanted to experience the story. Controls are definitely a little goofy. Things are goofy. It took me a while, because for some reason, I don't know why it didn't register he was a writer. Initially, like in the first little bit. And then there was narration. But the narration was a little annoying at first. Just, Alan Wake turned the corner. He saw a bathroom. He thought to himself, I might have to pee. And stuff like that. I was just like, what is happening? So I actually started doing the narration, which made it way worse for my wife. And she's like, will you please stop? Because I would narrate, and then it was narrating, and she was like, please stop it. But it's a cool game. It's different. Like I said, a different premise. I know Alan Wake 2 is getting like great reviews, and I've had several people tell me that this game is just like stupid good, and they've changed a lot of mechanics, and it's just really, really good. I also know something that I want to bring up, and I thought it was a spoiler, but they told me literally you see him in the beginning, and it's due to rights with Remedy and Max Payne. Did you know anything about this?
No, I did not.
So apparently they've lost rights to Max Payne.
Wow.
So this was coming from my old guitar player. He is playing it right now, and he's been telling me a lot about not Max Payne. He's been telling me a lot about Alan Wake 2. He's hooked on it. He's like telling me how fantastic this game is. And he said Max Payne is in Alan Wake 2, and I was like, well, thanks for spoiling. He goes, no, like he's in the very beginning. He's like, but he's not named Max Payne because the rights. So his name is Alex Casey, which, if you played Alan Wake 1, is the name of Alan Wake's character he writes his detective books about. He's like, so his name Alex Casey. He's like, but literally when you see him, it's Max Payne. Like, you'll go, holy shit, that's Max Payne. Like, he looks just like him. They just changed his name for, I guess, copyright reasons. But I was like, that's kind of cool that he's in there, and it makes me even want to play it even more. Did you play the original Alan Wake game?
I did play Alan Wake. I played because I only had an Xbox at the time, and that was an Xbox exclusive. So I was
360,
playing
right?
that on 360. Yeah, it was on 360.
It came out in 2010, I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that was around the time I was still doing a lot of band stuff. I was still in school, and I was doing a lot of stuff at that time. But I did make time to play games, and Alan Wake was that game that I would come home and I would play and I would play and I would play and I would just keep going through the story. And I had a lot of fun with it. I really liked the concept of the game. At the time, it was like top tier for me, like what was going on. I know that if I go back and play it now, it'll be a lot different. The
Yeah.
mechanics are a lot different. It's not as fun,
The
in my
light
opinion. I
stuff
think,
gets a little annoying to me. Like having to break
yeah,
their
I
stuff with the
remember
lights all the
didn't you have
time.
to get like batteries and shit for your
Yeah,
flashlights all the
like
time?
it
Yeah,
just and like you'll run and then you'll know it's coming. Like the music will build up and then it will happen. And I'm just like, okay, like I get it. I don't need like 15 of you constantly when I'm running from one tree to another. Like, can you please chill?
right.
Like, get your
No, they
backwoods
can't. They have
ass
no
out of
chill.
here for a minute and let me get to my damn flare gun or whatever I need. Pick up my
They have
manuscript.
have absolutely no chill. I remember that. I remember that.
But moving on, won't spend too much time. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk about Alan Wake 2 in the future. Maybe around Christmas, I'll get to play it or something. I've watched some movies. For spooky season, we completed our 31 nights of horror and watched a bunch of stuff. And this year, actually, we didn't go to a lot of ones we usually fall back on. I got the Mrs. Expanded her, and we got her to watch some new movies. One that I actually just recently watched, I think I finished it yesterday, but was Pearl. Watch Pearl.
Oh, nice. I still haven't seen Pearl or X actually.
So there's also a rumor, I think, unless I'm just completely way off base, I think I've been hearing a rumor that Ty West, who did Pearl and X, is wanting to do Friday 13th. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. I'm actually, that intrigues me. I can't lie. He's got, I think he could do well with it.
Here's a quick hot take
Oh,
for me.
God.
Quick hot take.
In other words, Christian doesn't like him.
I think no. Tyler, I have nothing to add to what you just said because I think that's dope.
I
To
mean,
be
I
honest,
think he could
I
do,
would love
his
that.
movies are more of an older style ish, not older style, but what am I trying to say? Like, he does, like, they're older influence, like, the way he shoots and, like, does his stuff, I think.
Mhm.
So,
The hot take is it's not even a hot take. It's just as a fan of this type of stuff, there are so many directors that I think could direct a good Friday the 13th
I think
film.
it
Ty
also,
West being
I
one
say
of them.
reboot it. I say go all the way to the beginning with Friday the 13th, start back with Pamela Voorhees.
Sure. Like I think here's the thing.
Don't
I'm gonna
pick
be
up at,
honest.
like, what I'm getting at is
If
don't continue
they
where they're at. Like, don't,
well where they are now is that the last thing we got was the remake, right?
right.
With like not Jensen Ackles, but Jared Padalecki and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they're obviously not going to continue down that route because that
No.
essentially like killed the franchise, whatever. But I would like them to start all the way over personally. However, I think that if they do start all the way over with Pamela, and that's the one that they do, and it's not the TV show, it's a full movie, it's going to detract a lot of younger audiences who only know Jason as the hockey mask wearing killer
Good.
because
Get
they're
educated.
going to be going in to see that. But the problem with that is this: unless we, like, I mean, the fans show up for this movie in theaters, we won't get more because a perfect example of that, without talking forever, fans showed the fuck up for Five Nights at Freddy's, and that movie made hella money. The movie was I haven't seen the movie, full disclosure, but I've been hearing from all my horror buddies that it's not really a good movie at all. That it's actually really convoluted. It's kind of dumb. They changed some stuff that didn't need to be changed from the source material, of course. But aside from that, the people who like Five Nights at Freddy's, they showed up and they paid money to go see the movie. Regardless of what they thought about it, they showed up to go see it. A lot of people got Peacock again to see it. A lot of people went to the theaters to go see it. So that movie has made so much money that they are guaranteed to have at least two more movies. So that's what you need from people like us who love Friday the 13th. We have to show up for a new Friday the 13th, especially if it's going to be starring Pamela and not Jason. We have to show up for that movie and make it money so that we can get more, so that we can get the Jason that we want, so that we can get him as a person before he's like resurrected zombie Jason that we all know and love with the mask ripping through people's hearts and shit. Like, if we want to see that, we have to pay the money. We have to show up. We have to speak out about it. And I just don't see us doing that because life happens. A lot of people like to complain. People don't want to pay to see it. They want to just wait till it's streaming a lot. That's going to happen so much so that I don't see us. I don't see us showing up with our wallets enough to warrant them making a movie that stars Pamela, then going into the Jason stuff and then giving us some more of that shit that we like. Unless that they completely change up the game and it's like Pamela and Jason killing people at the first in the first movie. Like I don't
Good.
know. I'm just throwing it out there. But like unless we show
I
up,
can see
dude,
Ty
I don't
West
think we're
going
gonna
with
get what we
Pamela
want.
because I feel like he does like a female, like based on like
Yeah.
X and Pearl. I feel like he likes a female lead like that being your main
Once again,
killer.
just so that we're on the same page. Once again, I want that. I want to see Pamela. I want all of that
I
stuff.
think that
Like
would be
I
good,
want
but
that. I just want all of us to want it and show up and spend that money so that we can get what we want, so that we can continue getting what we want. That's pretty much all I'm saying. Like
okay.
if we don't show up with our wallets, we're not getting it.
Back to Pearl. So Pearl is the prequel to X, and Pearl is weird. Just a quick thing. Pearl is weird, dude. Pearl is a weird movie.
Understand? Yeah.
It's considered a horror slasher. I know we did a whole subgenre thing.
I got something for that here in a minute.
But I'm trying to think. I might like X better than Pearl.
Right.
And since you haven't seen either, I'm not gonna go into detail. And for the sake of time, I'm not gonna go into detail. But when you watch them, we'll definitely talk about them. I like Ty West's style though. I do. Are the movies my absolute favorites? No. Like, is it something I'm gonna watch all the time? But I like the style that he does a lot, and I appreciate it. And I like the fact that he's got his own story that is not a remake, not a reboot in this age of requels and remakes and everything. He's setting his own path, kind of like Ari Aster that we've praised a lot. I dig that, and I respect those directors. Jordan Peele is another one. Like those, when I see their names on something, like I'm gonna watch it. Like that is a guaranteed. I will check that out because they're doing their own thing. They're bringing original stories, and I'm all about that. Past that, you just talked about it. I watched Five Nights at Freddy. I watched it actually the day it come out on Peacock. And
Nice.
full disclosure, I don't know any of the lore. I played the first game, and all I knew is you were a security guard, and the animatronics, like Chuck E. Cheese style, were trying to kill you.
yeah, fair.
And
Makes
so
sense.
I don't know the lore. The movie as a whole was okay. Not the worst thing I've seen, but it wasn't like it didn't blow me away. Again, I don't know the
one to
lore,
10.
so I don't know where they differentiate like all the stuff.
Going in fresh like you did, 1 to 10. What would you give it?
Maybe like a 5 or 6.
Just be brutally honest. So, yeah, okay. See, that makes sense, and that's what I was getting at. A lot of people say that the movie's not great, but
Like, I don't.
they
There's not like
they
glaring.
showed up.
I mean, the PG-13, which I get it. Like, obviously, it's gonna be directed more towards a younger audience because Five Nights at Freddy's attracted a much younger audience and has a huge following from the younger group. So I get why they're doing that. There was just some things that I'm like, is that like the wife during part of it? She was like, wasn't it like a child killer or something? The reason for all this? And I was like, where in the hell did you pull that from? And she was like, was that not how it was done? I was like, I don't know. I was like, did you just pull that out of your ass? Like, where did you get this lore? So I don't know any of it, but I mean, some of the reveals, I was like, wow, totally saw that coming. But I mean, it was worth a watch, especially for spooky season. It went ham though in the box office. I think it was wasn't it like one of the biggest horror openings?
It's the third best horror opening of all time.
Yeah, it crushed.
Third best.
And to put it in perspective, the movie's budget was $20 million, and I know it made over 200 easily because I'm pretty sure I saw a number like early. Wasn't it over 200? Yeah. So 20 mil budget, and they made over 200. There will be more. There's definitely more on the way.
Yeah. Just to put that in another perspective, The Invisible Man that came out in 2020, that movie's budget was like $8 million, and it made a shit ton of money as well.
Invisible Man is fantastic, though. I would give that movie, off the top of my head, without rewatching anything, easily an 8. Easy, without even having to like think about it. Probably an 8.5.
100%.
Okay, another movie.
I agree.
This one will excite Christian. I'm pretty sure he's brought this up before, and I've slacked. This movie comes from I had the wrong thing on. This movie comes from 2016.
2016. Oh, what is it?
And I'd heard nothing but great things about this movie, but for some reason I had never watched it. Me and the missus watched it.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is
I
it?
think. Is it Follows?
No. She hates that movie.
Damn.
She hates that movie.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think that movie's dope.
You did tell us that. You told us that. And it's getting a sequel.
Yeah, I want to watch the sequel. I think that's dope. I think it was a cool premise. She hates it. No, this movie I've heard fantastic things about. And we both watched it. We saw the trailer and she was like, whatever, put it on, let's watch it. And then she didn't fall asleep or anything to it. And she was like, that movie was really good. I would rewatch that. And that movie is Train to Busan.
Oh, shit. Train to Busan. Train to Busan.
It's fantastic.
Without Talking Forever, it's a fantastic movie. One of the best zombie movies I've seen.
It's a really good zombie movie. Like, really good character development, story, zombie design. Like, that was a solid movie.
And I was hurt when he died, dude.
That's a buddy of mine was like, do you tear up every time at the end? He was like, I can't help it.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's a really, really good movie. It's a Korean movie, correct? Or no?
Yes, it's Korean, yeah.
Yeah, dude, if you guys haven't watched it, please watch it. Trust me. Fantastic. All right, another movie. I'm trying to move a little quicker. Saw X. I watched Saw X, the latest installment of Saw.
Hearing good things about the movie.
Yes. I will say this. The wife, again, is not a huge Saw fan. She doesn't like the torture. She says it's just like torture gore. I personally am a fan of, not necessarily like, I'm not the traps, the thing. I understand it's a big part of it. That's not what draws me in. I'm a big fan of Jigsaw. I think Jigsaw is really dope. I like Tobin Bell's John Kramer. I like his whole, he's teaching lessons, all the stuff, that's going on. I really dig it. His voice is fantastic. Dude is a genius. So I dig Jigsaw. This movie was very Jigsaw heavy. It follows Jigsaw. I will say this, though, for probably 45-50% of the movie, I was like, this is not making any damn sense to me timeline wise. And then I realized where it was at within the timeline of Saw.
Okay.
Because they don't really tell you like this many years. Because I'm like, the whole 50% of the movie, I was like, I haven't seen the Saws in a long time. Like all of them, I was like, he's dead. He's been dead. Like, how the hell is he in this movie?
Mm.
But then,
is that like
I said,
plot point when they tell you where it is?
No, they don't tell you the time frame. They literally just, you see people and you're like,
just figure it out.
Oh, it's right. Like, yeah. So I think that's dope. This is the best Saw movie I've seen personally since, I'm going to say after 1. I almost said 2.
Shit.
1 is my favorite Saw movie. I think 1 had the best turns and stuff. Honestly, they kind of lost me where like I would watch them, but I wasn't like into them and really didn't care as much. I'm gonna put it after 1. I think right now.
I liked
maybe 2.
1.
It was 2 the Needles.
2, 3.
Which one's Needles?
2 was the Needles.
Needles.
God,
Needles. Dude, that one out of all the traps, that might have been the one that I was like, can you just imagine like all them needles stabbing you? Hell no.
1, 2, 3, I really liked, and then 4 was fine, and then after 4, I was.
They start getting, out. I don't know. And Spiral, I'm just not even counting that because that movie was.
You had slow ass motherfucking Jeff in that movie who got everybody killed because he's a stupid piece of shit. But whatever.
But no, I really like John Kramer. John Kramer, you get a lot more of his story stuff in this, and more screen time with Tobin Bell. Which I don't know how much longer we'll have Tobin Bell because I feel like he's older. So yeah. I enjoyed it, but it is pretty cool. And maybe, yeah, I definitely think it's worth a watch. It's the best Saw installment in a very, very long time. We'll say that to be safe. Final thing I've watched, and I cannot wait to discuss this, but I don't want to ruin it, and for sake of time, The Fall of the House Usher, one I've been super excited for. Mike Flanagan's latest and final Netflix installment as far as like their series contract he had. You may remember him. We've talked about him in length from Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Club, and Midnight Mass. Short and sweet.
Yep.
This show is Edgar Allan Poe works.
Yeah,
and each episode
absolutely.
is titled after an Edgar Allan Poe work, um, which is dope as shit. The acting is awesome, and keeping it really short, I would say this one. Midnight Mass may have jumped to my favorite over Haunting of Hill House.
Mhm.
Fall of House Usher may top it. I don't know, dude. Fall House Usher was. I don't think there was a slow
Yeah.
episode. Like
Full disclosure, I haven't seen it yet, but Midnight Mass is top tier for me.
it,
That's like S tier work. So we'll see
Midnight
how I
Mass
feel
is
after that.
fantastic. So you know how interesting the priest is in Midnight Mass.
Mm.
Get ready for what is her name? She's been in a whole bunch of stuff. Carla Guino or something? Guino?
I have no idea who you're talking about, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
I butchered her name, I'm sure. She is fascinating. Get ready for her. She crushes. Also, second favorite character in the Mark Hamill does really good too. Mark Hamill's interesting, which you don't get a lot of his stuff until later. Um,
Mm.
he was the sheriff in Midnight Mass. He was the cook in Bly Manor.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He to me is one of the cooler characters. I really liked him in it, and dude, it's I think Flanagan goes out with a bang. Isn't he? Isn't there already a movie announced by him? Not with this, but isn't he signing on to a project now that he's done with the Netflix deal?
I believe so, but I don't remember what that project
I
is.
mean, but we watched a bunch of spooky stuff. There's other stuff we didn't name. That was just some things brought up right away. I'm trying to see if I can find that project real quick. Because I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I sent it to the wife because she's really liked. This dude was born in Salem, Massachusetts.
Mm.
Wow. I mean, that's actually pretty dope. I thought it was a big name project.
It's hard. It's hard because the strike is over now. But while the strike was going on, it was hard for people to keep those deals because they couldn't guarantee actors and writers and whatnot. So yeah.
What have you been into while I look for this? I'll try to find this while you're going into your.
Yeah, man. I'll try to keep a lot of this quick because there's some things I want to really dive into. Before I start doing that, I want to do a little bit of house cleaning here. And JT Jordan, he's in the Discord. He's a part of all the things that we do. He supports the hell out of us, and I appreciate you. But I wanted to give you a shout out because he actually reached out to me and told me that he listened to our episode where we were going over the genres for horror. And he was like, I know this is a bit late, but I wanted to just give my 2 cents essentially. And he was saying Candyman, however, is a slasher because I know that we talked about that and you had
Supernatural
some
slasher.
things that you were saying. Yeah, and he said
The original,
this is
yeah,
a
for sure. You have a final girl.
he said Candyman is a slasher. It kind of works in the same way that Jason works in the Friday movies. And yes, he's technically undead and he can teleport, but he's 100% a slasher. So I was like, that's dope. He also says It Follows is a possession movie. Yes, I know it's teetering the line, but it's I've always considered it to be as such, and that the entity does take over bodies. Um, Even when it's infected, you can still and you can't see it. It takes over the bodies of people that have been infected before and that have seen it. So it's possession. It's possessing those people. And I was like, all right, that's good. And then he was just kind of letting us know that due to listening to our episodes, he's been going off and watching other things. He watched the Fear Street films and he loves those. And they are different genres. Each one is a different genre. The first one obviously being a slasher, and then the third one was for sure like more of a possession film with the witches and whatnot. But he just wanted to say that he definitely has been going back through a bunch of things and going through those genres. He also has been replaying the Resident Evil games, as well as
Fantastic.
1, 2, and 3. People call them zombies, and I lean more towards calling them infected over zombies because they were infected with the T virus, which I do agree with. And then in the newer games, Resident Evil 7 and 8, those are more possessions. over infected because of what happens with the story, which I won't get into for those of you who haven't played the game yet. But Jordan, thank you so much for giving us those. I really appreciate it, and it kind of cements some of the stuff that Sin was saying, some of the stuff that I was saying. So I really like that. And then every time you guys listen to an episode and send us comments and all those things, like we do read them. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to reach out to me personally and send that to me. Then he also said that he watched Hereditary and he thinks that that is a possession film as well, which I had to agree with. So yeah, man, I love when you guys reach out. He did send some more stuff about movies, but we'll get into that at a different time because we ended up
Is
talking
there
for a bit
possession?
about that, going back and forth. So that yeah, and
Or
I
is
get
it?
it. I totally
Aren't they
get it.
like a cult or witches?
They were a cult, but the demon essentially that they were trying to resurrect does possess the
Tituba?
body of the character in the
Tituba.
movie. Yeah. But I wanted to talk really quickly about a few other things before
I
I got
found it, the
into
movie,
a
by the
lot of the
way.
meat.
I
You did
think.
find it?
Yes.
Tell us what it is.
So I'm pretty sure this is it, and I didn't know the name of it till now, but it stars Loki, which I'm sure you're going to talk about in a minute. Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yep. Stars him and Mark Hamill. And it will be Flanagan's next venture into Stephen King's world. He plans to adapt the novella Life of Chuck.
Nice. I think I did read that. I forgot about that.
Dude,
think I was
I'm
doing
a fan of
stuff
Flanagan.
that. Yeah,
Flanagan,
awesome.
I want to see more stuff. Dr. Sleep is dope. I love what he does with the series. I'm actually a fan of him. Like, I like his style, and I want more stuff from him. He's one that's going in that new director horror genre that I actually look forward to projects.
Absolutely. And I am gonna pivot into Loki. By the way, there's a movie coming out with the Frankenstein. They're redoing Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And I don't know if you've seen
Don't
that,
screw it
but
up.
we talked about that on the pod recently, I think. But I really like the cast that they had for it, and it seems like it's gonna be pretty sick. So I'm looking forward to that.
Um,
And I'm actually gonna look that up real quick
while
because
you're
I
looking it
really
up,
like
did
the
you dress up
cast.
for Halloween?
I have a costume for Halloween. I was going to be the Mothman, but with all the stuff that was going on, I literally just couldn't get into it.
Yes.
I just couldn't get into it.
Did you
But
see?
it's like one of the onesie things
Oh
that I
my
have.
god,
It's
you and
actually
these
behind me
onesies.
somewhere.
Did you see my
Yeah.
costume?
I did not see your costume.
Do you have any
Did not
guesses
see
what
your
my costume was since you haven't seen it?
I'm
I'm pretty damn proud of this costume. And full disclosure, so we do a trophy in like a contest every year. We've expanded it where we have like the funniest, like best group and like overall and stuff like that, right? Or best couple group, whatever. Your boy won 2 of those awards. I won funniest and best overall, which never happens because I never even win my own damn like Halloween party costume contest. I won best group last year with a couple friends that we dressed up as killer clowns.
Nice. What were you this year?
What do you have any guesses? Your only thing I'm giving you is it's 80s.
80s?
And I'm pretty damn proud of it.
Were you Toxic Avenger?
Hell yes, I was.
You were Toxic Avenger?
Yes, I was.
Oh my god, I just pulled that clean out of my ass. That's
Bro,
amazing.
I'll run around
That's
in
amazing.
some super tight like dry fit shirt we cut up and some like tight pants and like some ugly looking boots and a tutu with this mask on and carrying a mop. And every time someone would pull up to a party, I would go up to him and be like, "Ugh!" And I would just grunt, and then I'd be like, "Don't fear, citizen. I'll protect you." And I would like walk them through the tunnel. It was the greatest shit ever. But yeah, Toxic Avenger, most people were like, "Why are you in a tutu?" But the horror fans I knew, they were like, "You are not toxic." And I was like, "Hell yes, I'm toxic." And they were like pumped on it.
Just Toxie, dude. That's amazing. That's really cool. That's probably
A buddy of mine came as Art the Clown, and he actually gave me his mask. I have Art the Clown mask behind me. So
that's awesome.
But yeah.
So Guillermo del Toro is doing a new Frankenstein film, and I think it's gonna be on Netflix. But
does he have a deal with them or something
right now? Probably, like everybody has some kind of deal with Netflix, it seems, because they're trying really hard not to go under. So they are like grabbing up all of the the writers and directors that they can right now, so that they don't go under. In fact, but while I was looking at the cast of the film, like obviously it's Guillermo del Toro, so I'm gonna watch it regardless. When I started looking at the cast, I was like, I like what you're doing here. So he's got Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, who you were just talking about. They're all on board to be in this film. And I think that they told us the characters that they're going to be in this one, but I can't for the life of me remember who everybody's supposed to be. So I don't want to just like say stuff and it's wrong. Christoph Waltz is definitely going to be in it as well. But man, if I find it, I'll let you know. But yeah, I just so many roles got opened up, and he has so many actors and actresses I really like that are going to be in this Frankenstein film, and I am over the moon for this right now, dude. Frankenstein is one of my favorite. It's my favorite book of all time. I really love the creature. It's my favorite Universal monster aside from Wolfman. Like it's he. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I was super excited. I just want to run that by you real quick in case you hadn't heard about it. But pivoting
He
back
does
into
his
Loki,
movie style would kind of fit Frankenstein, I think.
I think so too.
I'm definitely
Um,
curious.
but yeah, I've been watching Loki season 2 when I can. I haven't seen like the newest episode, like the last episode, I think. But it's been pretty good. Like it's not as fun as the first season, and that's not really a knock on the show. It's just the first season was so fresh at the time, and that's when we first started dealing with multiversal things in the Marvel universe. But now, like everything's multiverse all the time, so it's a little uh, more contrived, I guess. But I do really like Loki season 2. I like where they're taking the characters. I like the evolution of a lot of the characters. The show is fun. It's still well written. I like what's going on. I highly recommend anybody who likes Loki who watched the first season to watch this one. Um, I'm enjoying it, man. Like I like this. I like Loki season 2 way more than I've liked so many other shows that we've been seeing. I even went back and watched a little bit of Moon Knight when I had some time, and like Moon Knight as a whole isn't really that good. Like I can't. I still don't like it this much. I don't like what they did with Mister Knight really at all. But it's not as bad as some people say that it is. But I did, however, see that Marvel dropped the trailer for Echo, and I'm not gonna lie, Echo looks kind of badass. That's something that I did not want to see at all. I didn't give a shit about it. I remember talking about it on the pod, but the trailer looked really cool. It's going to be the first TVMA show that we get, so it's going to be more in the style of the Netflix Daredevil Punisher series. So that's really cool. But like I said, I'll let you guys know how I feel about it when it does drop. And when it does drop, they're dropping all the episodes all at once. It's not going to be the week to week, which I prefer when they just drop it so I can watch it at my leisure. I don't like the week to week stuff because it just reminds me of watching regular TV. And if I wanted to watch regular TV, I just have cable. So like that's not why I have streaming services. But anyway, with that said, I will watch that. I'm sure we'll talk about it on the pod. But aside from that, guys, I did get to play like a tiny, tiny bit of Omni Man. Didn't really get to play too much of him just because my internet was acting really weird. But he is fun to play. He plays a lot like Superman from the Injustice games, but way more brutal, like way more brutal. And so I enjoy him. He has a move that's called the Viltrum stance, and I think when they were describing it on the like watch along when they were showing you the characters, they said he can just dodge stuff. That's not necessarily how that move works. You gotta amplify it and then he dodges. But if you amplify it and the people don't do anything, you're just sitting there and you can't get out of that stance. So it does have a caveat, but Omni Man is an amazing character in the game. Pretty much everybody that's playing Mortal Kombat right now is playing him, which makes sense. He's brand new. But he's fun as shit to play. He's hard to learn though. It's not easy to just pick up. I will say this, he has a combo that's super easy to get off like all the time right now because people don't know how to block him right now. But it is fun. He is a fun character. I would like to play him in the single player. I haven't got to play his store, his tower, or anything yet, but I do want to do all that. And the stuff that he says, his dialogue is some of my favorite dialogue that we've had in the game so far. Because that was a huge issue for me complaining about MK1 is I did not like a lot of the intro dialogues, but almost every character that Omni-Man fights, he's talking mad shit, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see, especially to Kung Lao. Jesus Christ, he fucking hates Kung Lao apparently because he talks mad shit to him. But moving on from that, Spider-Man 2 dropped. And Sin, I don't know about you, but Spider-Man is like one of America's favorite superheroes of all time. And the game's fantastic. Um, I have two issues with the game right now that they're really get on my nerves, but I'm not gonna get on those. I will say this one thing: I'm doing all the side missions. I haven't beat the game yet, but I've seen a clip of the last level, and it was very short, and all I saw was Miles' costume because Miles gets a brand new costume, like brand spanking new costume at the very end of the game, and Sin, that costume is boo boo shoes,
Oh
bro.
God.
It's terrible. I'm gonna send it to you here in a minute just so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's bad. It's real bad, and I can't believe they did my boy like that. They did him so
I mean,
dirty with this
just leave
costume,
Miles's costume alone. I like the standard Miles costume. It's dope as shit.
dude. Miles' costumes in the game are better than Peter's. It's just that Peter has the costumes from the movies, and that makes it fun because his Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume, I've been using that for most of the game. And then of course when you get the symbiote, you get the game version, but you get the
Mm,
comic book version too. That's just like sleek
yeah,
black. And you also get the Tobey Maguire one. So like I've been playing with those because like
those are
you
sick.
can't not play it. You can't
I
not
can't
do
wait. I
those.
haven't got to play Spider-Man
Um
2, but that's one that hopefully I'll be playing in the next couple months as well. And one I
it's
definitely want to
dude,
play. I
it's
played the
great.
shit out of the other two, the Amazing Spider-Man and then Miles Morales, and they both were
Yeah.
amazing. Like I thoroughly enjoyed them. I platinumed them both. I was all into that.
This one is this was my favorite one, hands down. Like
I'm
I
excited. I'm excited for
play
Tony Todd's Venom also. I'm excited to hear him as Venom.
dog. Uh, I have you so I'll say this because it doesn't ruin anything because you haven't played it. I've been doing all the side missions, so I'm not at the end of the game because I purposely didn't want to run through the game really quick. But as Peter, when you get the suit, you like tap into like his God of War rage mode or whatever. I saw it in the trailers. But when you do that, your controller, if you have your mic on, your controller, Venom is talking to you. Like the symbiote talks. And it's Tony Todd's voice. So
That's dope.
while you're Spider-Man beating the shit out of people, you can just hear Tony Todd's Venom like, yes, kill. And he just says like crazy shit. And it's more just like ominous like sounds that he's making, but you can tell that it's Tony Todd's voice. And dude, it's sick as hell. I love it. It's so nice to see and hear that shit. But with that, I don't want to talk about it forever because I don't want to ruin. I don't want to talk too long because that's what'll happen. I like the game so much that I can make a
All right, we're
whole
getting Christian
episode
off of
about
it.
just the game.
So,
So yeah,
quick detour
moving
before we
on.
get into meat and potatoes. Christian, have you
Yeah.
heard of this game? Don't Scream.
I heard about it, but I don't know anything of it.
I
So
saw
so
it on a
explain that to
quick
me.
like X Twitter post, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" It looks like real footage, like well, not kind of like camera footage, like Blair Witch style camcorder thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's done by two indie devs, from what I understand. I have access to it, and I haven't got to play it yet. I'm actually pretty stoked. Pretty much how it works is I don't even know if there's a story or what, but it picks up your microphone, and any loud like or scream, it stops the game and stops the timer, and you start over.
Oh wow, that
And
sucks.
like, so you set up your microphone and stuff, and like, if you don't move, if you're like, well, I'm just not gonna move, you can't scare me. The timer doesn't move. You have to be moving and like
Wow.
going. So I'm actually pretty interested to see how this game works. Like, it's such a cool concept. So I'll definitely get back to you guys once I get to play it and experience it and let you guys know about it. But it's I think it's on Steam now for like a couple bucks maybe or something. It's not, but it's a super small production in it. I know at Halloween time it was getting, at least on Kick, like there was a lot of people playing it, and it was getting quite a bit of viewership. So it was pretty dope to see like a small little indie dev team get that kind of exposure and stuff. All right, is it meat and potatoes time? Are we ready, or did you have something else?
Yeah, man. Let's hop right into it. Let's
All
hop
right.
right into it. And you don't know what it is. You just know. So this is something that I think that you already knew, and our listeners who have been with us since
Is this
day
about to
one,
piss me
they
off?
probably know this as well. No. I think you will agree 100% with what I'm going to say. I just haven't said it before. And I rewatched the movie recently.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I rewatched not Halloween Ends. I rewatched Halloween Resurrection.
I rewatched Halloween Ends this year too. That was my first Halloween movie of the year that I watched all the way through.
Wow.
And you know what happened?
What's
I was
that?
madder than hell after. Like the whole time I was just bitching. And the wife was like, "Why did you choose this?" I was like, "Because I figured I'd just piss myself off really good first, and then I can enjoy goodness." I literally bitched about that movie the whole time. Like I just kept on. I was like, "Oh God! All right, I'm not going down that road." All right, Halloween Resurrection.
So I rewatched Halloween Resurrection, and I'm here to say, with beyond a shadow of doubt, Halloween Resurrection is the worst Halloween movie of all time. That movie is absolute garbage.
Over
Don't get me
Ends?
wrong. I'd rather watch Halloween Ends again than watch Halloween Resurrection again. And I'll get into it. Obviously, we have
Oh,
time.
over
I'm gonna
Zombie?
explain to you
I
why.
have to put Rob Zombies too.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is a big sack of shit, and I don't ever want to watch that movie again. But I also don't ever want to watch Resurrection again.
You don't want to
And
watch
that it,
Dangertainment?
I no movie. Here's the thing: there's in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. We can all attest that that movie is shit. But the very first scene of the movie, minus him just grunting and screaming when he kills people, minus that, it's still entertaining. Halloween Resurrection, the only entertaining part of that movie is the part that everybody remembers. Why you dressed like Michael Myers? I'm supposed to be Michael Myers. Your shit ain't working up there or something? Like, that part of the movie is the best part because even rewatching the first scene with Jamie Lee Curtis and all that, like that has the atmosphere that you want from a Halloween film. It's still bad. His mask is still absolute garbage, but like that scene has the atmosphere that you want, right? But they just rehash stuff from the last
Who was
movie
the
that we
director of
just
that one?
watched. I don't even fucking remember
Because what he
because it
did,
was that.
or what they did, was they unbuttoned their pants, dropped their pants around their ankles, and took a steaming pile of shit on Michael.
That's what they did.
Literally.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
They make that character awful in that movie. Michael is
You're
not
absolutely
scary
right.
to me in that movie at all. He's not the shape. He's just like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's a bottom tier
It's
Halloween movie for
bad.
sure.
It's bad, dude.
My
It's
rant.
not
I have to
good
give you a
at
little
all.
rant. You can tell me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get all up on the mic on this. You're gonna tell me this man. What movie was this? What number in the? This was like 8.
Resurrection?
Was that 8 by that point? 8 or not?
I mean Resurrection?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you had
yes.
6 Halloweens and then H2O,
Oh, was that 9? Was it 9? It was, yeah, you're right. It was
H2O, and then
6,
Resurrection, and then we went into
yeah.
yeah. Okay, and then the zombie ones.
Yeah.
You're telling me this man for 8 movies, 7. Sorry, he wasn't in 3. You're telling me this man has been stabbed. This man has been shot. This man has been burned. And all kinds of shit. But Buster Rhymes can come out here and do his best Bruce Lee impression, do some roundhouse bullshit, and can beat up Michael and take Michael out. Really? Really?
Dog.
That's what
It's
you got?
trash. It's trash.
That's how we
And
take
then
Michael out? Why didn't we let's just get Buster Rhymes in every movie. Just call him. That should be like his freaking superhero line. Be like, oh, Michael's here. Boop, 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 boop. Buster, I need you to get your Bruce Lee on.
Buster, what it is right now. He just shows up.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm off my soapbox.
No. Stay on the soapbox because in this movie, they straight up tell us that Michael he's in Haddonfield doing all his shit in all the movies. And then in Halloween H2O, he breaks into the nurse's house, gets all her information about Lori, right, who's changed her name and has a new life, all this bullshit. And he drives her car almost to California, steals this weird Jeepers Creepers van from this lady and her child in a random rest stop that nobody would go to, drives the rest of the way without a map or anything. I'm assuming he just knows how to get to anywhere because he can drive. So he gets all the way to the school, wreaks havoc, does his shit, doesn't actually get his head cut off from Lori because he switched he switched outfits with this random fucking guy
Don't
we
be
never
hating on
seen
H2O.
before.
I love H2O.
No. I'm not. This isn't for H2O. Hear me out. He does all this shit. And he drives all the way back to fucking Haddonfield, right? He drives all the way back to Haddonfield, then goes back home after killing Lori in the asylum or what.
Full disclaimer, I don't know what that noise was. I think that was a sub alert from the stream that just went nuts. It shouldn't have went nuts.
I actually couldn't hear it.
It just like while you were talking, a full on scream happened, and then it went into like
Wow.
I think it's Halloween. I think it's like the Halloween beat. It's like a trap Halloween beat.
That's
But it
hilarious.
also had like a train sound. So a train is probably gonna go off again. I don't know why. There should not be anything in here. My shit's haunted. Spooky season continues.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
this
like
is
there should be
happening.
no alerts or anything, but like randomly that just happened while you were talking, and I was looking around like, what is that? Like, why is that going on?
That's
So yeah, sorry
actually
listeners, you just
really
got
funny.
a trap version of that for no reason.
damn. Well, I'm glad I didn't hear it. I'm
It
still
probably would
chilling.
scare shit out of you because
So-
it confused me. I was like, why is something screaming at me right now?
It probably would have, to be honest with you. So he goes to kill Lori. That scene is all phoned in. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Her plan is really fucking dumb. She dies
they shit on her at the start of that.
unceremoniously.
She's lived
Yeah,
through all
she
that, and they're like, oh, we're
unceremoniously
just gonna let her
dies.
die in like 10 minutes.
And I know, like, contractually, she said she wanted to die, like, in the first 10 minutes or whatever, because she didn't want to do the movie. She phoned it in. She got a paycheck. She went home. I get it. But, like, bro, all of that shit happens, right? Then Michael drives all the way fucking back to Haddonfield, and you're telling me this motherfucker this whole time just had tunnels under his house? He's had tunnels under his house? We're not going to explain that shit? That's how, like why? He's got tunnels up under where he's been living all these years, bro. He's just been under this house all these years, just fucking eating rats. And dogs, I'm assuming. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. That is dumb as hell. I couldn't let that shit go. Then we're doing the reality TV thing. I get it because at the time that was popular, they want to do something new. That was a terrible route to go. Don't get me wrong. Like, we always talk about, oh, I want to see something. Like, they didn't think about the idea. They just filmed some shit. That's all they did. They just filmed some shit, and it was ass. So we get that.
You know, one thing that would be dope out of that movie if you took like one thing, but you'd have to be very careful how you did it.
I'm curious.
The only thing, like, and this is me just kind of a fan of this, and I think it would be horrifying, is if you did camera Michael Myers, like a Halloween. Like I said, you'd have to be very, not what they did. What they did is dog shit. Like, I can't like save that. But you do some sort of, and I don't know how, like, I don't have a good premise. I may think on it. Maybe next episode I'll bring something, but you take like a camera footage. So you have that definite like tunnel vision. You don't see Michael walking through people's houses or around, and the killings are happening, and then that's how you catch Michael. Just imagine like real dim lighting. You catch like the shape's face or something, like him stalking through like behind, like that could be really sick. But it would be
like a found footage movie for him?
Yes.
Okay.
But like I said, you'd have to be very careful how you do it because it could turn out really shitty really quick. But if done properly, I think it could be terrifying without him making noises, anything, just like the knife, him appearing. It could be interesting.
I think that the concept of what you're saying could actually work out. Would it be hard to do? Yes.
Yes, it'd be very hard to do. Like I said, you could fuck it up very easily and make it really shitty. You'd have to have a good story of why in the hell you have a camera.
Well, it would have to be somebody. That's the thing.
Maybe somebody like is investigating like a ghost hunters, but then that kind of goes into Dangertainment, but not as cheesy. like is investigating the Myers house or something.
Dangertainment would have been cool if they just fleshed it out and didn't have the movie. The movie looks awful. Like that's the
how
other
about
thing. At
Miramax
least
gives us a contract and lets us take over the Halloween franchise? Who do we email?
dude, man, seriously, it's coconuts, delicious. We could do it, no problem.
Be
The
like, all
thing
right, Nick
is,
Castle, John Carpenter, we're bringing you on. We wanted to converse with you. We want to talk about stuff. John Carpenter, you're doing the score. There is no ifs, ands, buts. You and your son, you're scoring the movie. Done. Like,
I would even ask, like, because John Carpenter already came in and made his. I could see him asking for so much money to do the score again. I would be tempted to either ask his son to do it, or it'd be really cool to have a collaborator who worked on stuff with John Carpenter to do it. I think that would be cool. Like we could still obviously pay John to use his original Halloween theme because I would want that for sure.
oh yeah.
But just the initial score of the movie, somebody who's collaborated with him doing the other scores. Like I would ask Alan, what's his name, Hogwarth or whatever, but I don't know if he's still alive. To be honest with you, like I'd have to check that shit out. I don't remember. I literally have to look it up to see if that literally still
What the
exists.
hell did you just send me?
That's his costume, bro. That's Miles's final in-game costume that he makes for himself. It looks like shit.
Why does he look like
shit.
Gwen Stacy in like the far right one?
He looks like an Adidas commercial because that's exactly what it is. Adidas has a contract with Sony.
I see the shoes now. I see
the
Adidas shoes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's up with
Why
his hair?
is his hair sticking
what
out?
What did they do to his damn hair?
Exactly. He has the dreads,
okay,
but his hair is sticking out of his costume.
No.
And it's just like, Miles, how do you keep your secret identity if your hair's sticking out? Dog. Okay. What? That's just like if I was a superhero and I just had like a dynamo mask and then my hair was still sticking out, you can still see my beard.
What if you're a superhero and all you did was take your glasses off?
Oh, shit. I don't know who it is. Oh, my God. That's I mean, practically. Like, I'd have to cover up my big-ass forehead. I would have to, like, all of this would have to be covered. Like, you would know it's me. If you saw my hair, you know it's me. There's no getting around that, dude. There's no getting around that.
Your superhero name would be Tituba.
Tituba!
Do not fear, citizens. No. Tituba is here.
I'm pretty sure we explained to our listeners
that was some Path
where
Exile
that
shit.
Comes from. Man, that shit is hilarious. By the way, like
all
the
right,
fact
so
that
we gotta get back on Resurrection. We're running low on time.
We are running low on time. Here's the thing. What I have to say about Resurrection is, rewatching that movie, I do believe wholeheartedly that it is the worst Halloween movie of all time. I don't want to watch it again. Don't get me wrong. There are other Halloween films. Obviously, you guys know that. But this movie doesn't have any of the things that the other movies have. Like, at least Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, even though it's trash, and Halloween Ends, even though I think that movie's trash, have scenes that I like at least. They have kills that I like at least.
I have a fun take.
Look good
while we're talking about Halloween,
good, but this movie looks like dog shit.
I have a fun take that I want to get you riled up about. We are running super long time, but this was brought to my attention over spooky season. I saw someone say, someone did a list. First off, whoever this was that did their Halloween movie listing, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Their best movie of all time was Ends.
Oh, okay. Well, we're done.
Yeah, the original was 2, 3, 4, somewhere down the list. I'm like, oh, you're not even remotely close to right. I'm sorry, no. Just no. If you think that's the best, just don't watch Halloween.
This opinion is officially invalid.
Yeah. No. Someone said Kills is worse than Halloween Ends. And no, hear me out. I'm not done. The missus then chimed in and said, "Yeah, I think I'd rather watch Ends over Kills." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay, let me break this down real quick for you. Kills, you get carnage candy. So at least you get Michael being a badass, murdering for most of the movie. Are there really awful scenes? Mob scene, Evil Dies Tonight. There's a lot of really shitty stuff in Kills. But Kills, you get more good stuff. So the good is going to outweigh the bad of essentially the whole damn movie of Ends. There's some cool Easter eggs in Ends, but you get 10 minutes of Michael. Carnage Candy, Michael, 10 minutes of Michael. I'm going to go with Kills every day of the week, personally. And she was like, she's like, yeah, you're kind of right, actually. She's like, Kills is really annoying, but you get more Michael. And I was like, yeah, I know I'm right, because Ends sucks.
The thing I'm gonna add really quickly to what you're saying, because I'm agreeing with you and I like where you're going. If you like Halloween Ends more than Halloween Kills, I understand that, because if you're watching Ends, you get more of like a story, right? Because Kills is literally what it sounds like. You're just watching Michael go and kill people, and a mob chant "Evil dies tonight," then he fucking kills the mob later, right? Totally get that.
Also, Tommy Doyle deserved it.
The problem with Ends, you don't get any Michael. So if you're watching Ends and that's your favorite, then Michael isn't the reason why you're watching any of the Halloween films. Okay, I can understand that. I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. So there's that fact. That means that your favorite Halloween movie is probably Halloween 3, because you don't need Michael in your Halloween film. You just need a Halloween film. I get it. But with Ends, you don't get Michael. There's not many kills in the movie. The kills that you do get that are kind of cool don't really come from Michael. You get to see Michael get bitched out by who we're supposed to believe is a teenager. I don't even remember. Is Corey a teenager or not anymore? I don't
He's in college.
But I've only seen.
So maybe
the movie the one time.
Best case, maybe 21. Best case.
No, he is an adult. He is an adult because he gets beat up essentially by high schoolers, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does say years after, and he's getting ready to go to college. Wasn't it like, how many years was it?
Too many. Too fucking many.
Yeah.
That happens. But the thing is, with Ends, they add a whole nother hour and a half story to
pretty much say that like evil isn't a person, it just takes different shapes, playing off of the shape. And Michael Myers is not just evil, but evil can be in anybody, and evil can go into any vessel.
But you introduce that in the bookend movie of a trilogy. At that point, it doesn't matter what you say evil is or
so
Michael
is that just so they could be like,
we've
so essentially you can kill Michael, but Halloween never stops because evil will never stop. Like, just because this saga's over, it can pick up in another form. Like,
yeah, we've already watched 2 movies at this point of Michael being evil, of him being that killer. Then you're saying, actually, it could be anybody. Like, what the fuck are you saying to me right now?
That's some Star Wars shit.
Why did I watch the other 2 movies then? Why didn't I just watch it? Why didn't you just make Halloween Ends instead of 2018 and Kills? Because those movies now don't even matter. The only through line that we get in those movies, if you watch them all, the only thing that we get are the characters are about the same. We get Allison still. We get
Allison is a dumbass
Laurie
in
still.
Ends. Like, how does she go from...
She's also a dumbass in Kills.
Not as bad.
I mean, she does go to this house with her boyfriend, who she broke up with and is kind of getting back together with, and his dad, to go fight this dude who has killed most of their town, apparently.
Well, she's like, I'm going to be like my grandma.
They immediately go in there and get fucking schmurdered. So, like...
But this one, she doesn't even fight. Well, I mean, she does sort of at the end, but she's just kind of like, I love you, Corey. Oh, you seem evil. Even grandma says something's off, but, you know, I'm not going to believe her, even though she's been this, like, paranoid meemaw for the last 40 years.
Also, who the fuck calls their grandma grandmother? Who wrote that? Who wrote that and thought it was okay? That's not how people talk. People don't say that shit. So
I don't know. They screwed that up. I don't know why I get that they're trying to make him... The only justification is they're trying to make Michael as more than just a man. He's evil personified, I guess, right? Like, they're trying to give him a supernatural-esque without making him like, oh, you can't kill Michael. But they just, like you said, why do you do that at the very end? We don't need that then. Like, And once again, we have went on a Halloween Ends rant, and we might have lost Christian. I'm not sure. Nope, Christian's here.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm just listening to you because I'm thinking the same.
Like, I get what they were trying to
us.
do, and I'm pretty sure, didn't that get leaked like really early on that they may try to make like more of a supernatural feel to Halloween?
Yes.
So I get that and
hated
understand that, and I guess to some aspect you have to believe for Michael to survive all the shit Michael survived over the years, there has to be some kind of, not possession, not any of that, but he's a little more than a normal man. Like, he is some sort of like evil personified. But do we really need, I don't know. I don't think we need reasoning. I don't think we need anything. I think he just needs to be the silent, expressionless killer.
Ended up doing the same thing that they ended up doing something similar to that of what Rob Zombie did, right? Like
the white,
even though we still enjoy,
white pony?
even though we still enjoy
white
the
horse.
Well, with both of the movies, with the first one, he gives us Michael's backstory, right? Makes him a tragic character, even though he's clearly been a serial killer since he was a child. He's killing animals, then working on killing other people, but his home life sucks. He lives in a trailer, and it's just like, okay, cool. So you have all that, and then it takes away of the mystique of the shape, right? Then in the second movie, you have the white horse bullshit, which not only takes away the mystique of the shape, but he just makes him a homeless guy who's just out killing people, and now all of a sudden starts to talk. So you have that. And then in these newer movies, when you do what you're doing there, you're giving us a lot of story that doesn't really add to the mystique of the character, that doesn't make him any scarier, and it explains him in such a way that just makes him kind of look like a pussy.
Did they think Corey was going to be
nobody
scary?
cares.
Like, in any shape or form, are you supposed to be scared of Corey? Because Corey looks like the most generic equate version of Michael that you could ever get. Like, he's not even scary. He looks like
equate.
Yeah.
Did you say the like the wall?
Yeah.
House brand.
Literally, this dude is like the most fumbling, worthless killer I've ever seen. Like, it's awful.
Oh my god.
It's so bad.
Oh my god.
It's like the Dexter comparison. Like, you get Dexter in his prime, and then you get you, and it's like you watch a kill. Like, them do this kill that is just awful. Like, they fumble through it and somehow maybe get the job done.
Signature hat, man. You just put that hat on and nobody knows it's you.
Jesus. Oh, my God. This movie makes me mad. It makes me so mad.
I think we've exhausted our time with that. I just wanted to say that.
Also,
even though I
brought up your thing a couple times over the month to the missus when we would talk Halloween.
Which one?
And I know a lot of people may not like H2O. I like H2O for what it is. Are there things I don't like? Yes. But I actually dig the fact that there is John, which is Laurie's son. And technically there would be 3 kids if you wanted to do it, like to expand upon your original plan. But you would have to include those. Which, if you included this one, that would also erase the other 2. So it's kind of like a, what do you do? But...
Oh, you mean the thing I was saying about bringing in
bring back Jamie, bring back John, and have something with them with Laurie would be dope. You could... I don't know how you would do it because the timelines are obviously very different, but I would say you could have Karen also. But you could just have Jamie, John, and then go about your business with them and pretend that ends and kills never happened and stuff. I think that would be pretty dope just to bring them back full circle. Plus, I like Danielle Harris having kind of a staple. She may have been in more... Has she been in more Halloween movies than Jamie Lee?
No. Let's see.
She's been in at least 4 that I can think of. 4 or 5.
I think
When she was in 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she was in 4. She was in 5. She wasn't in
6.
Both Rob Zombie movies,
yes.
So she's in 4 of them altogether.
Yeah. Which I thought was dope, being a fan, knowing that, little kid she played Jamie, and then growing up she gets to play Sheriff Brackett's daughter. God.
Annie, right?
Annie, yes, thank you. God, I was blanking on that. So I think that's dope. I would honestly be down with her playing Jamie, like a little older. But I know, we're never going to get any of that. But I think that's a cool concept. like bringing them back full circle.
I mean, I agree, man. I agree.
All right,
Obviously.
now that I'm
But
irritated
yeah,
to start
man.
my day, thanks, Christian, for
You're
always going back
funny,
to
you're
Halloween
welcome.
Ends. Literally, just, God, fucking movie. My blood pressure's up. I'm old. I'm angry. Let's go yell at some kids to
Your
get off
blood
my
pressure's
lawn.
up.
All right. So that brings us to our last call question. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
Whiskey.
As we go into last call. Christian, do you have one for us this week?
I do have one. We are on the train of Halloween, and I wanted to end that train by asking this question.
Oh, God. Are you about to make me even madder?
No, hopefully not.
The way you thought about that makes me concerned that you're going to make me madder. Okay, what do you got?
If you had the opportunity to rewrite one Halloween sequel, which one would you rewrite and what changes would you make? Only one.
I mean, the easy answer is Ends.
What would you change?
The whole fucking thing. I would scrap every bit of it. I would not go down the Corey. Honestly, I don't think you can do it in the same night. I really like it being in the same night. Like, that's one of the pluses that Kills gets, is the fact that it's kind of like Halloween 2. It's in the same night as Halloween 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's enough time, and how it ends, I think honestly, I would probably just go maybe a year. You could do it maybe a couple years just so they think they're safe and it's that false illusion, and then he returns and you set up a good showdown between them like that goes throughout the movie.
That's not my answer, but I do respect that answer.
And I honestly, in my world, I think they go out together. I think that's how the boogeyman gets vanquished to some aspect, but then you have some kind of little thing at the end that's like, or do you ever actually, you can't actually kill the boogeyman kind of thing. But they go out together in some shape or form. Not him getting thrown in a grinder with the whole town leading a parade. None of that. I almost wouldn't mind Allison getting killed too. Like, I don't know. I'm too hateful. I'd probably my way. Michael's gonna murder Arla Haddonfield, then he's gonna go on vacation and be sitting at the beach with like just his mask on or something. I don't know.
I would. That's so. Is that so? That's your answer then. So you're. That's what you would change.
I would
right?
change Ends. Is the easy answer. I just think it would be kind of hard to do 4 or 5 of them, changing them, unless you just kept 4 and 5, which would be cool, and then you went to 6 and then changed 6, which is a very good possibility. You could do that and maybe fix it. Ends right now, you've got me bubbling on Ends, so obviously I'm gonna go with that and say that we just completely take that script, we hold it, and we say thank you for your time, and then we drop it in a trash can, spray it with gasoline or lighter fuel, and light it on fire, and then piss on it and be like, okay, now let's write the real script.
Fair. That's a fair answer. For the sake of time, what I would rewrite, which sequel I rewrite, actually wouldn't be Halloween Ends. I would rewrite Halloween 2018. What I would do is keep a lot of the things.
Rewrite it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're going to redo, but you're going to not do a trilogy. You're going to do one movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change a bunch of the stuff. I'm going to make them brother and sister again because I personally like that better. So they're still brother and sister. Michael does go back to Laurie's house after the Dr. Sartain shit, but I also change it to where Dr. Sartain doesn't like fucking wear Michael's mask and shit because I don't like that. I would take that out. He would get back to Laurie's house, and then I would have it to where they have their showdown, but it's different because their showdown would take place. You remember the scene where Laurie's in that dark ass room with the mannequins and shit?
Yeah.
I would have Lori get stabbed there, and she would get stabbed like fatally wounded. So she's not gonna make it. She's definitely stabbed to the point to where she's gonna fucking die. Allison makes it back to the house, and the mom Karen makes it back to the house.
And
Right.
they both trip over
I
nothing,
would
and then
also
they all die in the house together in a movie.
no. I would have it to where Karen, Karen isn't Karen. She is Jamie, and I would also have it to
And she's not
where
wearing a
John
Christmas
is alive
sweater.
in this movie. She's not wearing a Christmas sweater. John's in the movie as well. Kind of like what I was saying earlier with how I would redo those things. I would have it to where John, probably I would have it to where John gets killed earlier in the movie, like towards the like in the beginning ish of the movie. Then I would have it to where Karen gets killed next. It's just Lori and it's just Allison. They're the only two like Strode women left, right? So uh, uh, Lori is fatally wounded. And you have what's her name, Allison, make it back to the house. They do the trap to get Michael in that room to set fire, but Lori gets trapped down there too, and uh, Allison tries to save her but can't because she gets cut or stabbed or whatever by Michael at this point. And the movie would end with Allison outside of the house. Like, when we saw the scene of the house on fire and then they're like, let him burn, like that thing
Yeah.
when they're driving away and she's like holding the knife. Instead of that scene happening, we would have it to where she is in the truck by herself with the knife. And then we go back to the house and you hear Lori screaming as the house burns. And then her screaming abruptly ends. And then after the credits, you hear Michael breathing. So you know that he's still alive. However, Lori is gone and the only survivor of that night is now Allison, and we would end it there. I would end it right there instead of doing a bunch of sequels and making it like shit. Unless they just paid me like a dump truck full of money, then I would fix it. Like that's how I would do it. I would
Also,
have
you
Michael
set me
go
up
in
for
like
these. You sit
systematically
here and
take
you
out.
marinate and have a full damn storyboard, and you're like, hey, in 2 seconds, tell me what movie you would change right now off the top of your head. Don't think about it. Just answer.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
I'll tell you what you should do. This is what I recommend. I recommend that you take this and you chew on it. So when we do the next episode, when you start off telling us what you've been doing, reading that week, you say, actually, I've been thinking about how I'd rewrite a Hollywood, you son of a bitch, and this is what I would do.
Wait, what else was I going to say I
recommend.
was going to talk about next week? Now I done forgot.
Because now you're thinking about this sequel.
I know. Now you've got me notes, all kinds of damn sidetracked. What was I going to I was going to stew on something and come back. Shit.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. Oh, maybe the camcorder Halloween thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We also slacked, and I know we're out of time, but there's a show right now that I'm extremely excited to watch, and I haven't got to watch it yet. And I'm actually going to watch the final episode of last season before I watch the new season, and that's Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't talked about it, and I have not watched it, so I'm going to do my best to get caught up. I think I'm 2 episodes. They're 2 episodes in? 3 episodes?
2 episodes, pretty
2
sure.
episodes? All right, I got to watch that because I have been waiting for this show. I loved the first season, and hopefully next week we'll be able to talk about that some.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm very excited. Very, very excited. All right, but that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you like your question to be featured in the last call, join the Gilded server, gilded.gg/Sinister pack in the application is put from the pod, or you can join the Discord. We will post probably a story or something with my Discord link. It is the community Discord I use for streaming. I've been more active over there also, so you can join either one. It's a great way to stay in touch for streaming or podcast stuff. We have sections for both over there in either server. Whatever you prefer. I know some people prefer Discord over Gilded and have no clue what Gilded is. So, yeah, trying to expand so we can make sure to include and get everybody in one little neat pile of fall leaves. But thank you so much for being here. Hit us up on the socials at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIM with Sin on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok. That's it. Every Wednesday, new episodes come out, except for last Wednesday because there wasn't one. But going forward, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, Apple, Spotify, Overcast, Anchor, Google, all that stuff. And then on YouTube, same thing, video version, 8 a.m. every Wednesday. Go subscribe, thumbs up, share it. Rate it 5 stars on the audio version. all that stuff. Subscribe, share it with a friend, and just enjoy them. Have a good time. Continue to grow the community and spread the word. You can find me on my personal socials over at IamSinister TV on Twitter and Instagram and Threads and TikTok. IamSinister TV, that's right. And then you can find me over on live streaming on kick.com/IamSinister. You can find me on twitch.tv/IamSinisterTV, and you can find me on Facebook.com/IamSinisterTV over there as well. And the YouTube is youtube.com/IamSinister. I'm not sure if I said that or not. I said my personal YouTube. I don't think I gave you the link. But my personal one, that's where the podcast goes. Go show love over there. Christian, where can the lowly folks find you?
You guys can find me on my Instagram at Vin and Ink, all one word. You guys can also find me on my TikTok at Christian Vincent. You guys can also find me on my own horror podcast. That is Horrorverse Pod on all of the socials. That's where you guys can find me.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that my day has been started off by making me angry, and I have my son's 2nd birthday today. Thanks, Christian. So I'm going to be good and angry for that. Probably ranting to people that do not care about Halloween ends. We are going to end it there. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. I know spooky season, the pumpkins are all deflated and rotten everywhere, and it's over, but it lives forever in our heart. It's kind of like 2018 where the pumpkin reemerges. That's forever our heart. It just, yeah. You don't have to go home. You got to get the hell out of here. It's time for Christian to shut it down until next week.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Sippin With Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review, hit that like button, leave some comments because we're going to start reading those comments down below. And also, guys, I'm going to leave you with 3 words. 3 words I'll leave you with every single episode. But if you are new here, listen carefully because they just might save your life. And those 3 words are, don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.